What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Back-to-back Premier League victories for Manchester United. Sheffield United 1, Manchester United 2, and a Diogo Dalot screamer later on in the game allows Manchester United to pick, as I mentioned, back-to-back victories in the Premier League. Where do we start with this one? Well. Obviously, the link is on the community tab on the Start again. United View YouTube page is exclusive for members only. I'm a little bit flustered. First of all, it's a bit of obviously a really somber moment and a really somber game due to the fact, obviously, with the really sad news, the tragic news of the passing of Sir Bobby Charlton. Flex did a really, I think, fitting tribute to him earlier on. And to be honest, I could sit here for a full hour and talk about Sir Bobby Charlton and his contributions to Man United, to England, to football in general, and it wouldn't be enough time. I mentioned it on social media earlier today. I think the word icon gets thrown around a lot in football with a lot of people, but it doesn't even really scratch the surface when it comes to Sir Bobby Charlton and his impact, as I mentioned, not just on Manchester United, not just on English football, but football in general. He was just truly that special, and he will be truly missed. And condolences and thoughts and prayers go out to his family, his loved ones at this really difficult time. Now, on to the game this evening. As I mentioned, back-to-back wins for United. It's a painful watch. I obviously, look, I'm thrilled. I said going into the game, I did the preview with Sheffield United away, and I said, look, regardless of how we perform, regardless of if it's good, it's bad, or it's in the middle, we just need to win. We lost 9 games last season. We've already lost 4 games this season, so we can't afford to lose many more games already. But it's not a pretty watch. It's a tough watch. At points of the game, I'm sitting there saying to myself, this is just bad. Like, I'm just not seeing styles of play. It's a grind to get through the game. We started the game very slowly as well, picked up the goal of McTominay, which was a really scrappy goal too, to be honest with you. I mean, Bruno Fernandes gets an assist, but I mean, it's an assist in statistic only, because I mean, he fires the ball up to about here. McTominay takes a half decent touch and it sort of goes into the net, and you go, that's a poor goal. A couple of minutes later, you've already conceded the penalty. Once again, I think there's some stat going around saying we've conceded goals within 6 minutes of scoring goals in our last, was it 6 out of 14 goals or something like that? I mean, it's nuts. Once again, scoring and then conceding very, very quickly. And as I mentioned, then you go through the game, and it's just a tough watch. And make no mistake, and again, I don't mean to be, negative. And I saw people talking about this in the comments of the match view, going, why are you being so negative? Why are you being so negative? You have to realize who you're playing tonight. And look, it's not easy going away to a newly promoted side under the lights, difficult conditions. It's been absolutely hammering it down with rain in the UK. So it's a slick pitch, difficult conditions, challenging conditions. We're not very good away from home. It's tough. We've seen Man City go to Bramall Lane this season and have a tough time of it. We've seen Sheffield United go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium this season, and Spurs score in the last couple of minutes, and they were euphoric with their victory. Don't get me wrong. I understand that, but it wasn't good. Like, it just wasn't good. And I'll be totally honest with you guys. I wanted to come out of today's game with some optimism and momentum going into the Champions League game, which we have to win. If we don't pick up anything but a win, we're basically out of the Champions League. And then we've got the Manchester Derby next weekend. And I watched City play Brighton earlier on today on the 3 o'clocks, and it's really worrying. I mean, I know they're coming to Old Trafford, which is a benefit to us, but oh my goodness me. And look, a couple of times he hit the woodwork. Bruno hit the woodwork from a free kick. Amrabat hit the woodwork from the edge of the box. So it could have, on paper, it would have been more convincing, but you have to look at some of those shots. They were outside the box, both of them. And it's just, it's alarming. It is worrying. Again, I'm not going to complain too much, because I said before the game, I'll take a win any way we can get it. And that's where we're at this season. It's back-to-back wins. But, oh my God, like, it's a tough watch. And it is a grind. It really is a grind getting through some of these games at the moment. And again, I know that can be, you're being so negative, you're being so pessimistic, but that's how I'm feeling watching some of this football at the moment. It really, really is. It's a tough watch, certainly. If you do want to join in, if you do want to call in, you can do so. If you're a member, and how do you become a member, you ask, Owen? Well, links in the video description. It's also the pinned comment in the live chat. But if you are a member, you can go to the United View YouTube channel right now, go to the community tab, and then you just click the link. It says there, full-time view link, and then you can call in. You can have your say. You can have your thoughts on who you thought played well, who you thought didn't play well. How do you think we're going to fare against Copenhagen? How you think we're going to fare against Manchester City, and all of the above next weekend as well. So if you haven't already, you can go there too. Let's get into the calls. Let's start off with Lil Yo-Yo. Lil Yo-Yo. Where are you going to start off? Are you going to start off on a positive note, a negative note? Is it going to be somewhere in between? What are your thoughts?
So I am your resident reckless delegate.
Yes, I'm a representative of the reckless delegation, yes.
Yes, and I am very reckless with my takes. So I like to be quite optimistic and say Scott Naldo, Mick Phenomenal had...
I mean, we can't. I mean, we can't be starting off with that kind of. I mean, I'll bring him back. Maybe he just needs a couple of minutes to calm down. Maybe. I mean, Scott Naldo, phenomenal. Did he say? We'll bring him back. We'll bring him back.
No, what I was gonna say is he scored an interesting goal. And
one way of putting it. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, and he had a bit of a clanger. So it's the best of both worlds, eh?
I don't know. Like, it was weird as well. I think statistically, did he make like 7 passes in the game or something like that?
He did. I don't know what happened there, but I mean, I just wanted 3 points. I didn't care how you'd get it. Sheffield United are a very, very physical team that play dirty and hit teams on the counter. So for me, the fact that we got 3 points, that's all I care about. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, look, you are right, because again, I went into the game with the exact same thought process as you. That look, it's 3 points. We'll take it. We'll take it anywhere we can get it. It's been so hit and miss thus far this season. But does it lead you to have any concern knowing that our next Premier League fixture is the Manchester Derby?
I've written it off. I'm not thinking about that. Like, whatever happens with that game. It's a write-off.
But why should what? But what is there a write-off because of this performance? Is there a write-off because of just it's Manchester City? Does it not? Because it's not even. Let's think about this actually. It's not even necessarily just the City game. That's the worrying one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that if that's how we're playing this season, then where are we going to end up?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm just here for the ride, and wherever it takes us, it's like a toxic relationship. Wherever it takes us is wherever it takes us.
You spend too much time with KG. Okay, he's been rubbing off on you.
No, but I'm probably worse than KG at times, so that's a different story. But I like to try and be optimistic. The fact that we grinded out the result, and to be fair, the goals were good today. Awkward from McTominay, but Dalot.
Is it harsh of me to say that I think the goalkeeper should do better for the Diogo Dalot goal?
It's debatable, but the technique that Dalot put on the ball, think about it in that way, top corner. Got to give him credit for that. Come on, let's try and find some positives amongst the negatives.
Well, okay, then give me some more positives. Which players stood out for you positively?
I mean, did you see the funny stat that Sky Sports tried to put out about Maguire?
Tried. I mean, they put it on the screen about 10 times, didn't they? I mean, they're feeding into Harry's problem. It's the reason why he keeps talking about his win percentage, because Sky keeps putting it on the screen every 5 seconds his win percentage. I mean, I'm looking at that. I'm looking at that and I'm going, okay, they go, what was it like 16 games now, 15 wins. But you do say, so you say, but are you going to put on the screen who those are against? Because if they're against your Sheffield Uniteds of the world, then yes, you should be winning those ones. But he's only been playing them. He's not really been playing huge games.
Exactly.
Under Eric Ten Hag, has he?
well, one or two maybe here and there. Well, didn't he? I think he didn't he play against Arsenal? Did he lose that one?
I mean, yeah, because this is the thing too about.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of are they? Are they starts when he's starting? Perhaps, maybe is that what they're going with? I don't know. But look,
See,
he got man of the
yeah.
match today. Do you think he deserved man of the match, or is that again a media thing?
I think he was a contender for man of the match. Me personally, I would have leaned more towards. To be honest, it's a hard pick. I don't know who really should have been man of the match. So if
Yeah.
they want to give it to Maguire to aid and help his confidence, all right, sure, why not? He was all right, to be fair. He had a good game. So I'm not going to critique him. I just hope it helps us like get a bit more value for him if we sell him in January.
Do you think that's what it could be? Just a bit of a good form. He'll still go come January.
Yeah.
West Ham, they'll have a sniff around. Perhaps I suppose that maybe could happen.
There you go,
What
yeah.
about those? What about those players we were talking about going into the game? What about Bruno and Rashford and Onana? Those sort of players that have been
Ooh.
talking points. Do you think anything particularly changed or will change about the discussion around them after today's game, or is it going to be more of the same? Do you think?
Well, this is probably Onana's best Premier League game. I think because he's had quite a few clangers in the Premier League, but he was okay today. I don't think he was horrendous. And to be honest, the penalty was a class. Who took it? McBurney. McBurney took
Yeah.
that penalty with absolute class today. So you can't blame Onana for that. It is what it is. But otherwise, I think he had an okay game. He could have been better, but it was the best out of a bad bunch. Going over to Fernandez. I've got an interesting way of describing it. I mean, people call his passes Hollywood passes, but I call them Hollywood Hulk Hogan passes, where it just goes everywhere. Where Hogan is running the show, and he's just doing whatever he wants with it.
I mean, tell you what, Hulk Hogan nowadays is very loaded.
Very
loaded. It's a very loaded thing to bring up. But yes, okay, I'll go with that. Hollywood Hulk Hogan passes. What about Rashford?
Rashford, to be fair, he was trying to feed the forward line quite a bit, but he just runs into 10, 20 people. But I think that's all a part of Ten Hag's tactics. And I think Rashford is still trying to get into his stride, get into his groove. But of course, there are times where he's walking around, he's lackadaisical, could be better. I think it's a gradual process with Marcus Rashford. Give him some time, give him some confidence, and then hopefully over time he comes back into the guy that he should be, pointing at his forehead, pointing at his, I don't know, wherever he points at, and just comes out and says, believe, knowledge, power, all that good stuff.
There you go. Okay, but before we go to another call, what's your predictions for the Copenhagen and the City one? I mean, you already said you're writing off City, actually, so I might as well not bother to ask you about City.
No,
what about Copenhagen?
I'll give you one for City, but for Copenhagen, I believe we will win. I believe we will win 3-1.
And City?
Do I speak responsibly or do I speak recklessly?
You speak from the heart. That's what I expect from you, Loye.
Ooh, from the heart. You know what? I'm going to say it now. We're going to draw 2-2.
Oh, I see the way you built up to that. You built up like you were going to say we were going to win. You go, you know what? We're going to draw.
If I was going to say, speak recklessly,
you know what?
Say,
I tell you what, I believe we're going to draw.
Would you take a draw?
Of course I would.
So what's the problem then?
Because I'm an evil tyrant running this show this evening. There you go. Appreciate Lil Yo for calling in. One of the Reckless delegates, one of the members here on United View for a long time as well. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. Who should we go to next? Let's go to Show. Let's go to Show Rahman. We've had a lot of discussions after a lot of games thus far this season, Show, and we've been saying basically that. What's your reaction to this evening? Another win, but it's still not very pretty, is it?
Yeah, look, it's another hard watch, isn't it? Especially the first half. I mean, I mean, it's just one of them ones where you kind of just want to see an improvement, even a small improvement in the performances. And not seeing that. I mean, I've looked at our results in the Premier League this season. Our wins have come against Wolves, Forest, Burnley, Brentford, and Sheffield United, right? And all 5 of those teams, if you'd said United have beaten those teams, guess the scores, you'd probably say 3-0, 2-0, 4-0, 2. They've all been by 1 goal. Yeah. And even those 1-goal wins, we haven't even deserved half of them. That's even the more worrying thing. If the Wolves one we didn't deserve, Burnley, I thought a draw would have been fair. Brentford, we needed a 93rd and a 97th minute goal to win. Today, we needed Dalot to smash one in from 25 yards. It's like, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a tough one for. I don't know what Ten Hag's comments have been after this game, whether he's been critical of the performance or not, but I don't know. I don't really know what the team's going, to be honest. I mean, yeah, again, we can talk about individual performances, but we were talking about all 11 players, so I don't really know who was good today, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, I see. I agree with you. That was kind of my analysis afterwards. Was just that if you were to sum it up, you go, how was that game? You just go, it's a tough watch. Like it's just a tough watch. Like there are points, as you mentioned, particularly in the first half, we were a bit better in the second half. I say control over the game, but a little bit more control over the game. Like you felt like it was maybe going in our direction as opposed to just chaos in the first half. But it's tough. Like it's a
I mean, the thing is, so McTominay and Dalot got the goals today, so that's still, I believe, one goal between all of our forwards combined this season. I mean, that's you're talking that's a relegation statistic. That's a statistic that relegation team would have. Yet there are teams that I think are going to get relegated this season where their forwards. I believe Carlton Morris of Luton has scored more goals than all of our forwards combined.
God.
I mean, it's just. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's just the goal threat is what is worrying, because the thing is, I know defensively I can give a bit of leeway because of how many defenders we got out. I mean, because we know Lindelof at left back today just looked like, I mean, he shouldn't be there. But again, we've got no choice. I get that. The more thing I'm a bit more worried about is attacking wise going forward. We can't really say there's players missing anymore. That front three today is our first choice front three.
Yeah, exactly.
That midfield only has Casemiro missing, and we've been saying Casemiro's been terrible anyway. So really, in midfield and in attack, who are we missing today? Not really anyone that's gonna improve us in the attacking transition. And yet, attacking wise, it just looks like such a mishmash of I don't know how we're trying to create. Is it through fast play, slow play, possession play, wing play? What is it? What is it we are trying to do? I don't know. If someone has the answers, I'd love to hear it.
No, I don't know either. I mean, it was funny because when I was talking to the Sheffield United fan Ollie on the match preview, he was saying, and it's always fascinating when opposition fans say this. They go, I said, well, what have you made of United this season? He said, well, I look at you and I don't know what your style is. Like I don't see the game plan. And I went, it's funny you say that because it's like I think that's a lot of United fans would say that. I look at that this evening too, where, like I said, in the first half it's chaos, second half it's a little bit better, but you're still not seeing like what's the plan? Like what are we trying to achieve here? Like you say, who's like, for instance, Bruno? Are we creating through Bruno? No. Are we doing wing play? Well, not really. Sometimes it'll get out to Rashford, he'll run into some people. Anthony, he floats in and out of the game. Feel a bit bad for Højlund. He had a couple of chances, but he's fighting for everything in there as well. And as you mentioned, it's just I'm just not seeing the vision. That's part of the problem. Is just not seeing the picture.
And that's it. And for me, it's like I get it. The wins are important. Don't get me wrong. I do get that. Like would you rather play crap and win 2-1 or play well and lose today? Yeah, we couldn't lose the game today. I get it, but we can't keep doing this thing because we used to do it under Ollie where we go, we'll take the results for now, the performances will come. And then it was 2 years later and we're still like, well, we'll take the results, the performances will come. And it's like, well, when are we? Because like you've said before, we've been playing like this since March. And instead of getting better, it's getting progressively worse. Like that's the thing, and it's so fun. Like I feel like we're getting, how they keep saying, in other stuff they say about getting desensitized. I feel like we're getting desensitized to how bad football we watch every week. That we're just becoming used to it. Like we don't get. Like I watched that today, and I wasn't surprised by it, even though we were watching Sheffield United. That's how sad it is. And I'm going into the next week's game against Sheffield United, like Lil Yo-Yo said, where it's a write-off. Like, even if we lost 5-0 next week at home, I honestly would not be shocked. Honestly.
Yeah. And I think that's worth pointing out, actually, because I don't, you can't. It's a good point. You can't watch games like tonight. And actually, to be honest, tonight's not an outlier really of the season thus far. It's very much in line with how we've been playing this season. And therefore, when you do play Man City next week, and if it is ugly, you can't be surprised if it is ugly, because you could say, well, there's not like I get you win. Look, you build up momentum by winning games. Don't get me wrong. We've got back-to-back wins. Cool. But you can't, even if we beat Copenhagen, maybe if we win that quite convincingly, but we've been winning many games made convincingly this season, you still can't go into that City game being like, we've got tons of momentum. We've got loads of momentum. Because it's just, we know we don't.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, I don't know, people, I don't know, I heard someone put in the comments that Ten Hag might have mentioned the international break or something. But even if that's the case, the one team you want to play after an international break is a team that is bottom of the table and has got 1 point and haven't won all season. What more game? Like, what more do you want? It's there on a plate. There you go. Go and beat that team. Go and improve your performance. Get a couple of forwards on the clean sheet and make bloody sure that it's not your centre-back that gets man of the match. You know what I mean? Like, for Maguire to get man of the match today against Sheffield United, it's embarrassing. It should be one of the forwards or one of the midfielders that inserted their dominance on the game. But that didn't happen today.
Yeah. No, I agree. Heading in then to the Copenhagen game, I mean, what are you expecting from that? Or do you not know what to expect?
That's the thing. I don't. Yeah, you're right. I don't know what to. I think Copenhagen is going to be tougher than today because they're not a mug team. I think Bayern went there and they needed a late Musiala goal to win there. So I don't think it's an easy stadium to play. They went to Galatasaray and got a 2-2 draw. Could we have done that? I'm not so sure. So I think they were 2 up in Galatasaray, which is even more impressive. And the thing is, for them, they're not playing us with us already having points on the board, because realistically, qualification from the group is on the cards for Copenhagen. Because if they beat us, they've drawn in Galatasaray, they've got a big chance of going for. So they're going to be looking at us thinking, listen, if we beat United, they're out of contention. We can qualify from this group, and they can.
Yeah, or at minimum, they'll be like, we're going to get into the Europa League minimum. You know what
Exactly.
I mean? I'll tell you what, let's go for
it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hell. It's going to be like, it's going to be similar like today. It's going to be tight. We'll either draw or win narrowly. Or I mean, we could lose narrowly. But yeah, I think if we're going to win, it'll be narrow. Because right now, there's just not much goals in the team. And I think we're just having to kind of scrape games. So if we are going to win, it's going to be narrow. But they're going to play a hell of a lot better than Sheffield United. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, before we go to another call, what did you think of some of those players that have been spoken about a lot recently? Your Rashfords, your Brunos. Was it more of the same today from them again, or again?
Rashford, I thought was better. I'm not saying no one was amazing today. No one gets 7 or 8. But if I was going to say players that have improved, I thought Rashford was better, except for the end product. But at least he looked like more of a threat today. I thought, if I'm being honest, Bruno, he hit the bar with the free kick. He had that shot. I thought it was anonymous. I'll be honest, I didn't see Bruno. I didn't. Anthony was his first start back, I believe. But, I mean, again, with Anthony, it's like, I get it's your first start. And people are going to say, oh, it's his first start. I'll give him some leeway. But if you can't complete a take on against a Sheffield United defense, I don't know when I'm ever going to see you take on a player. I don't.
Yeah, injuries as well.
The thing with me is, like, honestly, I can't remember from memory the last time I saw Anthony take on a player. I'm not even joking. I can't remember it. Like, I can't think of a memory in my head when I can think, oh wow, Anthony, the way you took on that player, wow, that was amazing. I can't think of it.
No,
and that's so sad.
He just doesn't do that either, does he? You know what I mean? That's one of my frustrations with him. Is it's very much a that's why it annoys me when we have counterattacks. We'll go up the right and it's always cut back, go back to my fullback, go inside, pass it to, if Bruno's there or midfielder's there, that's about it. And that's why I pointed out to people too, that, don't get me wrong, like, obviously having a right winger there is better than not having one, or only having Facundo Palestri, i.e. available. But people are like, oh, I'm really glad Anthony's back, things are going to be sorted. I'm like, people weren't saying that before that Arsenal game. People were not like praising him, that he was this amazing player. People were criticizing him. So again, a bit like with the City game next weekend, we can't be surprised when he comes back in and he performs to the level that he was performing at. We go, oh yeah, I remember it. I remember.
We watched
You know
this.
what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he was playing at the beginning of the season, and it wasn't any better then. It was just he's come back in the team, and he's unfortunately just contributing more bad things to a bad team. That's just the sad fact of it. And I don't think Højlund was that great again today. But again, what did we give Højlund? Not much. Again, it's just smash the ball in the air against three centre backs. Go on Højlund, fight for it like a dog. Do what you can, and if he doesn't get the ball, it's just. I honestly, he's the one player. I feel so sorry. I'm gonna keep saying this every week. I feel so sorry for the guy. Honestly, I feel like he must he's come here as his dream move, right? And he must be thinking, boy, like what have I entered? Like, where am I? Like, he must think, like, bloody hell. Like, honestly.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Big up, Show Ramen. Appreciate calling in as always. And you know what it is? And Show's right. It's a tough one to give analysis for because you want to be. I'm talking about. I'm happy we won. I'm very happy we won. But at the same time, it is very much like. It's tough. Like it's a tough watch, certainly. How many likes we currently on? We're not even at 100 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe as well, bottom right-hand corner. Let's see what some people in the chat are saying before we get to another call at the moment. Gemini says facts. Højlund was starved. Araya says basic passing. What else are people saying here at the moment as well? Skiliano says Onana is due a mistake. I'm sure he will hand the win to Copenhagen. Nothing like positive thinking when it comes to the future. Onana today had one of his better games in the Premier League. I still thought he made some decent saves. One of the saves in the first half, it was one of those ones where he dives to save it and it went straight back into sort of the danger area. Thankfully, someone was there to sweep up. You're still very you still feel edgy about him. Certainly, you still feel quite edgy about him. But again, we'll take it. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Lucas Chan. Lucas, I mean, late game for us today. So I'm sure it was good timing for you over there in Canada. What did you make of it?
Good evening, Owen. Oh, a win's a win. 3-point collectors this week. Yes.
We need
Can't say the same for Arsenal and Chelsea.
Exactly. It's true. Actually, that's a point. How many points are we off in the Premier League at the moment? Because someone was pointing out that
6 points off the top.
Is that really? So we're on 15. Oh, that is what is wild about the start of the season, isn't it? Look, we're 8th at the moment. For all the people raving about, Newcastle, we're a point behind them. How crazy is that?
It's painful watching this team, man. We have a dark cloud over us. It's been a long 2 weeks with the takeover. It's just, we're just Sir Bobby Charlton passing away. Good news. Garnacho's a father.
Oh, KG. Honestly, that's typical KG. Give me some good news. Well, Garnacho, he's had a kid.
Yeah.
That was ages ago as well.
Donny's expecting,
Yeah, Donny's going to have another kid. That's cool.
They had bad weather in Sheffield. Lots of rain.
Yeah.
We managed to make it through all the rain. The pitch was very bogged down, and we still managed to get through the muddy game.
Yeah. I can't even say no injuries. I think Johnny Evans went off with an injury actually as well. So I can't even say injuries. We still probably picked up an injury.
It's a dark time for United right now, And then we all thought Reguilon was going to start.
Not even on the bench.
Don't even know what happened to him. He picked up an injury, probably stretching. Oh no!
No, it's true. What did you think of Diogo Dalot today? Look, he got the goal. On the match view, he's getting it's hilarious because he's getting criticised a lot by KG, and then he scored. What did you make of his performance, and just in general, what players stood out for you today?
It was just like the goal in Las Vegas. I actually caught that on camera when I was in the Vegas game.
Nice
against Dortmund, and it was identical, right at the top of the box, top right corner, beautiful. It was just like deja vu for me. I was like, ooh, but no, Maguire stood out. Our center backs looked good. Onana was fine, but it's nothing really to write super home about. It's just we got the 3 points we got out of there, and with one injury, just to our back line.
Just the one injury, which is good. For us. Yeah, But I mean, and this is what's curious with United, because I was talking about this with Show Rama just a minute ago, saying that it's a weird one to give analysis to, because it is a tough watch at the moment. It is a challenging watch. Do you think Ten Hag will think that, look, it's just a win, we'll just move on? Or do you think he'll still have concerns of, it's still not looking pretty?
I think he'll say, we need to be more clinical. He'll say, we hit the post twice. Højlund should have scored. Rashford had a good chance. Garnacho should have buried that one. He should have stayed onside and buried that one.
Yeah.
Like, that was very, like, watching Haley was hilarious. Haley lost. But no, I honestly think we're a team that's really lacking confidence in our front line. We have no one's really, even Rashford, he doesn't think he's going to finish it. He's always passing it to Højlund. Højlund's just like a few inches off. Like, he put in a good cross in for Højlund, and Højlund was a few inches away from just get simple tap in. It's just, we're getting there, but it's so hard to watch us right now. Like, we can't, it just seems like we don't have control of the game at all. And
no,
I'm just happy we got the 3 points. And yeah, hopefully this dark cloud is just passing over us. There's got to be a light somewhere coming soon.
Somewhere, sometime, as long as you believe, right? As long as you keep believing. What do you think of Andre Onana today? Look, still conceded the goal, but it was a penalty. Couldn't do much about that. Made a couple of saves. Is that what Erik ten Hag will be looking for him, do you think, making some saves? Or is there still a way to go for him?
He looked definitely more confident. Like, he was claiming those crosses, and God, he took Evans out with that first one, and I was just like, oh my God. But to be fair, Evans got pushed into Onana, so that was unfair for him. But yeah, no. Overall, I'm just glad that he looked a lot more confident today than the last few games, and
yeah,
hopefully we're just building on some performance or anything. And
I hope so. I really do.
I have some wild takes. I think we're just going to go on a run here. I think we're going to beat City. I think we're going to beat Copenhagen.
Tell me how. Convince me, Lucas. How are we going to beat City? Or is it just a gut feeling?
I just have a weird feeling we're just going to turn up for City. Honestly, it was like the Liverpool. Like, I remember when we played Liverpool last year, we all thought we were going to lose against Liverpool. This one's at home. I just have a weird feeling we're just going to really turn up. Like, we're really going to turn on the Jets. I'm hoping that we get a good performance in Copenhagen, and that really spurs us on. I will say, Sheffield, they had 2 weeks to prepare for us. They had no one go on international break. They probably practiced for 2 weeks straight, just ready to play us. And we had players coming back from injury, international break, and we had 3 days to prepare for this game?
Yeah, something
Wednesday,
like that, yeah.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so hopefully, so everybody said, oh, you want to play Sheffield, but I felt like Sheffield might have not been the best team, because they had not one player won an international duty for Sheffield, because they don't have anyone to go for international. So that just says a lot, but we should be doing better against a team like Sheffield, but we got out with the win, so that's a good thing. And I have a feeling we're going to win against City 2-1.
2-1. You know what, Lucas? I would rip your arm off for that. I'd rip your arm off for a win against Copenhagen and a win against City. And I tell you what, if that happens, you'll be first on full-time view. Yeah, the full-time view after that, you'll be first on, and you'll be like, believe, never doubt, Lucas Chan. Big up, Lucas, for calling in as always. To be honest, I needed that. I needed that little bit of positivity of, we're going to beat Copenhagen, we're going to beat Man City. I just don't know. I just don't know if truly deep in my heart if that's going to happen. I hope so. Oh my God. I've just seen someone jump in, and I don't know if he's ready to come in. I mean, the time might be now. It might be now, but I'll put him up. Manchkushner.
Yes, Owen. Hi, how are you? How's it going?
What's that?
Well, this is Mark Donaldo. He's our greatest goal scorer right now. He was involved in the two goals today. Maybe not everybody, but to appreciate.
When I saw it, the Manchester, I thought, oh my god, Scott McNaldo, really? I mean,
Yeah, Scott McNaldo,
no.
No. I do think.
But go ahead. Try and recover from that one. It's a dramatic entrance, and I appreciate a dramatic entrance. It's good. It's like Rey Mysterio jumping out from the stage. The Manchester has come out through the stage and started with that. Continue on. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, we need to talk about the left side.
Okay.
Is Manchester United over-reliant on a good left back? Because we've had a lot of injuries in the left back this season, where we have to play Lindelof there. It was not working out too well. Now, is that the reason why Rashford is playing like this?
What, vanishing? He's a ghost.
Yes. I don't know where he's at, Yes. Now, or is it? I've heard this theory thrown out. I'm less hesitant. I'm more hesitant, I guess I should say. That the reason that people believe he had such a good season last year was because he was playing for his contract.
Oh, do you subscribe to that theory?
I think, in my opinion, I think it's the left back theory.
It's the Luke Shaw relationship. He misses Shaw, or he just misses someone that can actually play at left back. I.e., today once again we've got 3 left backs out of injury. If we just had one, we get a better Marcus Rashford. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's my personal theory. Now, we also need to perhaps ask a couple of questions on Ten Hag as to why his right winger that he was wanting to play was also playing like this.
I mean, you really like this vanishing gimmick this evening. You're a big fan.
Well, the clock is broken right now, so it's one of those where if the time's not working, then we got to figure something else.
So when the time's not now, we keep going to the vanishing. Like Batman, really. Another masked, a masked character of the whole turnaround, disappear. Where did he go? Same with the Manchester. He enjoys it.
McTominay gets his goal.
Still,
but it happens. It happens. So,
third time tried it as well.
About what your thoughts around that. If we think about the really the lineup of the forwards there, why is Facundo not getting a lot of time? Like what's
well,
going
where
on
was
there?
Facundo today? You know what Facundo was a bit like? Yeah, good. I liked it that time. I set you up for it, and then I tagged you in. That's good.
Garnacho came in. He got a nice little pass, and he said, "Oh yeah, let me take this shot."
Yeah. Disappeared.
I don't know. It's a weird mystery as to why our forwards aren't forwarding, but
yeah. Okay. Right, let's get back on track because I'm gonna lose my job otherwise, Manchester. Right? Okay. Give me some optimism or some thoughts. I just spoke to Lucas a minute ago, and he said to me, "We're beating Copenhagen and we're beating Man City next weekend as well." Do you think that's going to happen, or are you going to disappear again?
Well, see, so the thing is, I saw the Copenhagen play Galatasaray, and it was not nice for Galatasaray. They were gonna. Copenhagen was playing pretty good, so it will be a tough game. Now, hopefully, now that our focus is towards Tuesday, Wednesdays, then hopefully we have a better game plan. I could see this Sheffield United game being one of those that maybe gets a little bit overlooked by the players. When you think maybe a little, confidence, say, this should be a game that we should be winning. Luckily we get past it, and so hopefully the focus was more on the Champions League side, and I know that as a coach you don't want to hear that, but it's inevitable. Sometimes as a player you might say, okay, well, we can get past this team. Let's think about Copenhagen. So hopefully it's a situation, but otherwise,
the Manchester. I asked you, can we beat? He disappeared. I couldn't believe the Manchester turned into a politician. I asked him, can we beat Copenhagen? Can we beat Man City? He just sort of talked about, well, I think the coach and the Sheffield United and all this kind of stuff. Look, I can see him laughing and that as well. Get out of it, man. He's a menace. He's a menace. He really is. He spent 5 minutes disappearing on and off screen. And then, can we beat Copenhagen? Can we beat Man City? Well, Sheffield United. And then we move on to the Champions League. And then after that, you have to worry. The coach thinks about certain situations. He didn't mention Man City. Didn't even mention it. Just faded it in and out. Manchester, unbelievable. I don't know with him sometimes. We're not even still at 100 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button for that. I mean, you got to for that. Let's go to another call. I see 3 Daniel Lucianos here, so I don't know which one to click. I'm going to go with the first one. I'm assuming this is the right one. Daniel Luciano. Is this the correct one? Maybe it wasn't. Let's try them all. Daniel Luciano. That's not the right one. Let's try the third one. Daniel Luciano.
Is this one working?
This is the right one.
Oh my gosh.
It was like the free little with the bears with the porridge. This one is a bit too hot. Go back. This one's just right. This one is just right. It was the last one. What are your thoughts on the game?
Well, first I have some thoughts I need to share.
Go ahead.
The overrushing. First, thank you for all the work you do, because as you know, I wake up at 4 a.m. every morning and catch the show, so you always start off right. Second, I felt really offended. Rey Mysterio coming in, I felt like I was waiting in line at the club. He pulls up, and I'm just about to get in, and he goes ahead of me. So
Rey Mysterio, when the Manchester, he's like Batman. He just shows up. Sometimes the signal goes up, he jumps in. And I don't know with him. He's a strange character. And he faded in and out on the screen 10 times.
I wouldn't want to wrong him. No. Game. Listen, I feel like I keep hearing when you win, when you're playing badly, it's a good sign. And I feel like we keep saying that every time we win because we don't win and playing well. So I feel like we have to actually have a convincing win. I feel like we're all as a fan base waiting for the win that's going to kind of start that nice roll. I feel like Champions League performances are kind of like in its own category, and I just want to have a convincing Premier League win, and we just are not getting that.
No, we're not at the moment. Why do you think that is? Do you think that is just? Do you think that's injuries? Do you think that's confidence? Do you think that's the manager? Why don't you think we're getting that convincing win at the moment?
Well, I feel like, Lindelof is a left back. The guy did his best, and he worked really, really hard, but it just wasn't convincing. But I still feel like even having like Lindelof at left back or Bruno Fernandes on right wing throughout the season, that still shouldn't prevent us from winning against these like much lesser teams. Like, I think it was Lucas saying that Sheffield United had 2 weeks to prepare. Even still, they have a point in the Premier League. Like, yeah, I think, and they also have their injury crisis. I watched the whole match preview with Ollie, and he was going through it, and I was like, wow, we should stop complaining based on everything the fan base is dealing with. That can't be an excuse for us. We have people playing in the international games because of how good they are. How are we always having to fight into the last minute and have a last minute winner? As enjoyable as they are, the tension that leads up to it is never fun. So I think we just don't have an identity. We don't have an identity that we keep applying. And it could be kind of the way we keep changing. It could be that Rashford is just kind of an inconsistent, almost isolation player. Like, I really do want to see Garnacho. I would also love to see Martial with Højlund and kind of see what would that be, because Martial is just so good at setting up his teammates, it seems. So
yeah.
that would just be my dream kind of front line right there, is people that play for each other.
Yeah, and it's a good point, actually, because it was something that was pointed out on the match for you too, actually, that when Højlund came off and Martial came on, it was like for like. But I agree with you. I mean, maybe he'll do it more when we're sort of chasing games a little bit more, or we're really, 1-0 down or 2-0 down or something like that. But I'd be open to that, seeing what could happen for 20 minutes if you have Højlund and you have Martial on the pitch, considering, as you mentioned, Martial's link-up play is really, really good. That's one of his best attributes. So I'd be open to that. I think that would be good. What did you think of Bruno Fernandes today? I mean, we were talking about how great he was on international duty, but once again, I mean, hit the bar from a free kick. Apart from that, didn't do too much. What do you think of Bruno?
If I was to have a bias for any player, it would be Bruno Fernandes, just because of everything he did for us. But oh my gosh, some of the passing was just so unbelievably off. He's always obviously giving his best and running around the field consistently. Like, that's never can be in question, but kind of just simple things. And I'm trying to think of excuses, like he's never played with the same combination of midfield behind him. He's going to the 8, back to the 10. Like, he's played on the right wing for a lot of the season, but I also feel like he is someone who is so intelligent where that shouldn't affect him. I don't know if he's just purely exhausted because he is playing for Portugal every international break. He's not getting those breaks. It's almost like you want him to get like a light injury just so he has 2 weeks, like just a knock or something won't affect his career, but that will just give him some time to like sit down and rest, maybe spend some time with the family. But he's not the Bruno Fernandes we saw 2 seasons ago, and it slowly feels like it's fading more and more. Even with that really good free kick attempt, I just still feel like he's just a shell of the Bruno Fernandes we saw.
Yeah, no, it's true, because I mentioned it earlier on as well. Even for McTominay's goal, you notice he tries to sort of set McTominay, and the pass goes up to like McTominay's head. He's not even that far away, and McTominay manages to sort of make something out of it. But I agree. I was watching the game and I'm looking at Bruno just going, I don't know. It's difficult. I don't know. He just doesn't feel like, as you mentioned, the Bruno of before, and it's difficult to put your finger on. What about Andre Onana? Onana, people worried about him going in the game, made a couple of saves, maybe one of his better Premier League performances. Is that a building block for him, you think?
Listen, I'm Mr. Positive. I must have tweeted like 4 times 2 games ago just my frustrations about Onana. Just because I was a big De Gea fan. I mean, played for the team for 10 years and played so well. But I understood like what we were trying to do. It's just gone so drastically wrong. Like, I feel like we put all of our chips in someone who can pass, but can't do like the one most important thing. Today was good, I will say that. And obviously you have more goalkeeping experience than I do. But am I wrong in saying that the save he did make, like the one where he dropped down to the side, when he jumped to his right, it hit his wrist and not his hand? He didn't parry it away, which I feel like is kind of basic goalkeeping.
Yeah. Yeah, even when he makes the save and like in that one, it feels awkward. Like, again, he's fortunate because gets across, makes the save, but it goes straight back into the danger zone. And if there's someone there, it's an easy tap in. They always say get across, push it to the side. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's technique. I mean, De Gea was a bit like that when he first came in, but the difference is De Gea was early 20s. Onana's like 27 or something like that. So there's a bit of a difference. Yeah,
De Gea being 19 years old and also weighing 10 pounds, I feel like is different than a 20 goalkeeper played in the Champions League.
Yes, exactly. Before we round things up, though, how are you feeling going into the Copenhagen game and the City game? Is there any room for positivity? I mean, you said you missed the optimism. Have you got any optimism heading into those games?
I mean, yes, because it's Copenhagen and we should do well. But of course, we played Sheffield United today. No, I do think that we have, like, even the Bayern game, as much of a mess it was, we still scored 3 goals against Bayern Munich, which is a pretty impressive feat. So I do think we'll get the win. I think against City, I'm calling it now, we're going to lose like 2-1, but there's going to be like a really close chance that we should have got that would have gotten us the tie.
I tell you what, that's oddly specific, Daniel. That's oddly specific. I tell you what, if that happens, I'm going, well, I tell you what, there's some future predictions. There's some psychic qualities to Daniel Luciano. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Big up Daniel Luciano for calling in, long-time member and supporter of the channel as well, watching all of the videos and all that kind of fun stuff too. Red Devils 99 says 2-1 is very optimistic. I like the prediction of it'll be 2-1. To them, but there'll also be a chance that we should score. Again, there's proper specificity to that one, certainly. Anyway, guys, look, we're going to wrap it up there. What a game. What a day. We'll be back full-time view for Tuesday after the Copenhagen game, of course, and then we'll be back for next week. The last time I did a full-time view after Man City, it was the FA Cup final, and I remember everyone at the time was very much... Well, let's hope this time next season. Still plenty of time to go, but that's going to be an interesting one. Reminder, guys, you can check out all of the fan views. You can check out the match view. They should be on their way to being uploaded at the moment, so be sure to check those out. I'll be live tomorrow morning as well. I'll be live at 9 o'clock for Match Day Reloaded. And then, of course, it's Sunday. So we'll be live for the full view as well. So plenty of content to get into. Be sure to smash the like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And I'll speak to you again very soon. I'm out of here. Peace.